Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Friday Night Lights series here live from Darlington for the Time Travel 200. We going back in time. We got so many cool paint schemes from the back in the old days, back in the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, maybe even further back, all the way back to the 1950s. I saw a car looking like out there. Hi, my name's Kirk Mills alongside Ron Mons in the booth, and we got Howie Burrows doing our producing here tonight, and all of us are having a lovely good time here in Darlington. It's a beautiful racetrack, right, Ron?
Oh, this track is absolutely fantastic. One of the more storied on the NASCAR schedule as well. It's one that I've described in the past as being one where you either love it or you absolutely hate it with a burning passion to drive around. I know there's some varied feelings here in the broadcast booth, but I'm looking forward to this race. You know, despite the fact this track is a lumpy egg, some have described it as a pancake that got flipped too early. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to have a really fun race here tonight.
Well, the number one thing you're going to see on the screen is a lot of different paint schemes. It's all about trying to make the cars look as old and retro as possible. That's the favorite part about coming here to Darlington. And you're going to see some guys run the same boring old stuff. But right now, the person you're on board with right now is the 14 car, Blake Kluot. You haven't seen his car yet, but he is throwing back to Tony Stewart's old 14 car, actually 20 car, back when he used to run for Home Depot. We'll look at that a little later. But Lucas Hoytsman, last week's winner, he won in Vegas, barely holding off Jeremy B. Brown, one hell of a finish. And, I think we're going to get something just like that here, but it's a little different now. It's all about trying to make it to the end of the race. You see your point standings there on the board. Of course, after 5 races this season, we got 4 winners there in the top 12. So it's going to be all about trying to get that win. The win is everything here tonight. Here, Ron.
Yeah, at this point in this season, despite the fact that we are still in the early throes of this 2026 campaign, everybody looking to get a good start. And now that we're getting into the more traditional ovals of the schedule, these racers having to consider just getting a good string of results up and rolling. One other thing to raise as well, momentum is important at this point because we are slowly but surely encroaching upon the Dash for Cash races that'll be starting at Bristol in a couple of weeks.
Well, let's go ahead and get started with our starting lineup for tonight's race. On the front row, take a look at this. The pole center, Hunter Truell got it done, just barely over Jesse Winslow from Canada. U.S. on top today. Starting in third, Jonathan Delaney in the 6 car. He's going to be alongside Bryson Hicksonball. Both going to be really hard to beat here today, no doubt about it. Starting in 5th this afternoon will be the driver of the number 18. It's Charles Velasquez Jr., and to their outside, Ryan Von Henschel throwing it back to that Rusty Wallace paint scheme. Can't wait to see how well they do. Seth Foudy, 77 car, normal paint scheme as usual. And same with Daniel Wiles, starting in 8th. Starting in 9th tonight will be Casey Graves in the 01 car, throwing it back to Martin Truex Jr. The outside, the 83, that is Adam Benefiel, throwing it back. We'll have all these going through as we go, but that is your top 10.
And this one's one that I really like. It's an old...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Kyle Petty throwback to the time that he painted his car like Dale Earnhardt to get back at NASCAR. A very odd story surrounding that. Next to an old Jeff Burton Roush tribute scheme. That's Mason Lowry behind the wheel, the 42, by the way, and Lucas Hoytsman in the number 97 on row number 6. Joseph McWhorter will be in 13th at the start of this race in his regular Outlier Speedco car. He'll be alongside Noah Woods in the 56th. Looking right behind them is Bryce Reiner in 15th alongside Jeremy B. Brown in 16th place. I see an old Hendrick car throwback there. Tyler W. Hunter with a nice look at interstate battery scheme. He'll start this race in 17th next to Jacob Simpson in P18. Then right behind him, rounding out our top 20, will be Wesley Napier alongside Bill Hull. Always love to see that red, white, and blue America scheme for Hull.
Oh, yeah. William Owens, 11th place here tonight to the outside. Michael Deach in that 91 car. Really like that style. Cliff Mullins in the 44, and to the outside, Tim Phillips will start 24th in the 27 car. 25th will be Hunter Bogdan, and to their outside, Matthew Boston Wheeler. Starting in 27th, Jarrett Grodzicki. To their outside, Michael Mesnard in 28th. 29th will be Brian Wertman, and to the outside, Brandon Hunsinger.
And then looking from there, Kyle Amon will start this race in 31st alongside Tanner Marty in 32nd place. Right behind them, we got Kevin Zosiak in 33rd next to Eric Wineland. That's an old-looking car. I love that. The Drafty Car 2 car going to start this race in 34th. Charles Ian will be in 35th next to Andrew Dyson, the Aussie, towards the back of the field in 36th. Blake Kluwat will be in 37th next to Daniel Llewellyn in 38th. And riding at your field tonight will be Steve Benjamin in the number 53 car, running at 39 starters here, set to grab the green flag in a few moments' time. Kirk, this is going to be a fun one, but could be a challenging one for these racers too.
Yeah, we're going to have about 1 lap to go when they cross the stripe to get this thing underway. We've got 147 laps to be able to run here. Stage is going to be at 45 and 90. And then you got 5 tire sets to work with. Now, here's the big thing, folks. 13x incident limit. You cannot make too many mistakes. Getting up into the wall, that's a chance at a 2x. Got to be very careful. You don't want to hit that wall too hard. And these cars are just going to be getting that Darlington stripe all the time. When you hit the wall, it's a Darlington stripe. If you've never seen iRacing before, or racing in general, that's what they call it. The Lady in Black, it's one of those tracks that is just too tough to tame. So many people have struggles racing here. Some people hate it. Kyle Petty says he wants to turn it into a lake. I'm with him. But some folks also do really dang good here, and they love it. It's a unique style. You don't see this type of track anywhere. There's a story behind how it was built. There was a pond apparently in the way, which is why the track is so weirdly shaped. It's so strange, the whole story behind that. You can watch it in a documentary later if you're bored on a commode. But for now, we got a race to watch right now. Take a look up front. Again, this top 5 stacked. Truel, Winslow, Delaney, Hicksonbaugh, Velasquez Jr., and last year's winner, I don't even see him here. The soonest one, that the highest running where he is Adam Benefield. He's starting in 10th tonight. He won last year, has a chance to do it this year. But heading down the back, coming through turns 3 and 4, folks. Here we go. Go ahead and get on the edge of your seats. About to get this thing ready to go. Reach up, pull them belts tight one more time. Pace car dives it down into the pit road, and Hunter Truel and Jesse Winslow leads them out of turn number 4 and into that glorified restart zone. Buggity, buggity, buggity. Let's go racing, boys. Two cars started from the pits. Kyle Emmon and Brian Workman, but up front, Hunter Truel is able to hang on to the lead as they single file out all the way until you get to the front straightaway. Side by side for position is Casey Graves and Wiles there in the 88. Daniel Wiles trying to hang on. Is behind them. They just got side by side. Lucas Hoitzma and Adam Benefield.
Yeah, and they single file out as they head their way out of 2 onto the back straightaway. Everybody trying to keep it single file nice and tidy as they try and settle into the groove in the early stages of this race. But up at the front, Hunter Truel trying to pull a gap over Jesse Winslow, a driver who I think is overdue for a victory here in this series. Was strong throughout 2025, but on some darn good performances, especially in the Dash for Cash races. Truel looking to impress here in that number 71 car, leading early.
Maconi Entertainment knows how to bring it right here. Take a look at this run here on the inside. That's from Hicksonbaugh making a move on Delaney. He gets it by. Same things going on side by side in the corner for 7th place right now. The 10 car of Casey Graves is under fire from Seth Foudy.
And they're continuing to battle it out. P7 as they head their way into turn number 1. That's already a slide.
Yeah, he put him up in a wall. That Seth Foudy's lost 4 or 5 spots now because of it. He's going to remember that next time he's around that 01 car. Look out, Graves dove it in deep, and he put him up in a wall. This ain't over yet. See right here, look at this. Daniel Wiles on the top, McWhorter on the bottom. We know he's fast. Making that pass, no doubt about it. Trying to move up more and more as we go. And now this is a long way to go, but we got to get 45 laps to get stage 1. Something tells me we'll see a flag between then and now.
Yeah, well, right now we still got that green flag out. These drivers keeping it smooth, keeping it clean. The 22 and the 48, Jacob Simpson and Tyler W. Hunter battling for 17th at the moment. That single file is out rather rapidly as they head their way down the backstretch. But right now, these drivers still looking to get to their comfort zone here around this racetrack, which is the reason why they're not fighting too much, he says, right as we jump to the shot of Seth Foudy and Bryce Reiner squabbling up. This is for P12 with Foudy ripping it on the outside, and the 5 keeping him stuck against that wall.
Yeah, Reiner, you got to remember, last week, look out, 71, there we go. 77 getting up near the wall again, losing more spots. He's been dropping back ever since that move with Casey Graves. He falling outside of top 10 and also outside of top 15. But yeah, let's take a look and see what happened to Seth here so you can see what happens. Look at the 01. Going into turn 1, you really need to commit, but the 01 kind of overcommitted. Watch what happens.
That is a Darlington moment right there. The driver on the bottom, diving it off into the turn and kind of clipping that seam in the road. You know, Darlington, it's been said a lot that this track is kind of 1.5 lanes wide, which is the reason why it's so tricky to go side by side throughout. That's kind of what we just saw there. A driver hopping the berm a bit as he headed his way off into the turn, diving down off the banking and running into trouble. One fact about Darlington is the fact that banking was originally meant to be put there as a safety feature to slow the cars down before they hit the barrier. It wasn't meant to be raced upon, and then everybody back in the day when this track was first opened decided, oh yeah, that banking, I could actually go faster if I just run up there. So everybody now runs up there.
You know, one thing I gotta say is these paint schemes are freaking awesome. I love seeing it, but take a look here. Battle for second starting to heat up. You got Benefield there. Sorry, let me try that again. Hicksonball there in the 63, trying to follow up right behind Jesse Winslow, trying to make a move on that spot. Remember, he's Canadian. He's going to be going on the bottom of the racetrack, and I think he's just going to let Bryson go. And not just Bryson, he might also let the car right behind him, Charles Velasquez Jr. right behind him, let him go as well.
Yeah, there is kind of a game of give and take that you have to do here around this track. You got to say, okay, here's when I could kind of start to fight out. Other times you just have to say, okay, look, I'll let you go by now, but I'm going to come back at you later.
Yeah, you know, one thing I do want to mention, you're going to see some of these paint schemes refreshing as we go along. Just keep that in mind as they reload back in. We'll see the paint schemes on the screen as they come, but understand that this is one of my favorite tracks to look at paint schemes because it's just so cool, it's retro, it's unusual. But my favorite one this weekend, you're looking right at it right here, the 2-car of Ryan Von Henschel. I'm a big fan of that old Rusty Wallace looking paint scheme, and it's just pretty dang cool looking. And I think that 2-car did a really great job of modeling it exactly like what you might have saw back in the early 2000s.
And see, I'm always partial to the number 2 because that was a number that I used all throughout my karting career, but that is a darn good paint scheme indeed. I'm also biased as well towards that car just because I adore the color blue. Dark blue, light blue, doesn't really matter. I'm always a fan of blue. We've got some good cars out there on the racetrack. I will say, one of my personal favorites was that Interstate Batteries car that we saw a little bit farther in the back of the pack. Second probably in that is the drafty car throwback that we saw well farther in the back of the field for Eric Weiland, who has been able to make his way up, currently running in 24th. Nice drive for him so far here tonight. There it is. Look at that. That's not even retro. That is pretty much vintage.
However, it is, you know, what really brought that into light is the movie Ford versus Ferrari. Because that right there is the same car that Ken Miles drove back in the 1950s. And that's from the movie. So I think it brought that paint scheme into light more with that movie that came out. And that's why it's more well-known. But you got to understand that it is an old car and it's an old paint. But if it wasn't for that movie, I don't know if we would have saw it this weekend. That movie did do a number on a lot of race fans. So pretty good stuff. But what I'm noticing already is your top group of cars is starting to separate a little bit out, but that front 2 are starting to close in together. Hunter Truex leading this thing by just about half a second over Bryson Hicksonball. The Hicksonball's trying to chase him down, not just him. Charles Velasquez sitting there in second. Last year we saw the Conti cars. Those guys were on rails the entire run. These guys were able to do really well and take away the win and second place. Hicksonball got second that day last year. And also, remember, Benefield got the win. Charles Velasquez Jr., He's sitting right now in 3rd place, but I guarantee you he might have some help from that camp. And, you know, Hicksonball right in front of him, no doubt about it, is one of the hardest guys to beat on any sort of tech track, which is what I call Darlington. It's so technical. It's not just hold down your throttle and go. It's you got to be able to maintain your control of your car over the course of a long run. So much talent goes into these things, and drivers like Hicksonball, Truhl, Delaney, Von Hinchel, Winslow, even Velasquez Jr., they will rise to the top over the course of the run. But right now, we got the fast guys up front. Who's the consistent ones? We'll find out over the course of the long run. Again, trying to get to lap 45 for the first stage.
Yeah, one thing that I do want to raise talking about Bryson Hicksonball in second is the somewhat disappointing start to the 2026 campaign that he has had. Now, we have seen a good level of speed out of that number 63 car. I mean, he's your points leader for crying out loud. So he's been consistent, but he hasn't been getting the victories. He hasn't been as dominant as we saw at this point in the 2025 campaign through to race number 5, heading off into race number 6, which is this race here tonight. Hicksonball already had his first 3 out of 7 wins throughout his 2025 campaign. Right now, as we head our way into this race, he's winless. So fascinating to see Hicksonball, you know, still quick as always, still keeping those good results flowing, but not nearly as dominant as he was this time a year ago.
Well, you're absolutely right. But today, I think that might change. His luck's pretty good right now. He's gotten up to the back bumper of Hunter Truhl. That is the closest battle we see on track right now. It is between the top 2 guys. Keep in mind, this position is going to be really important, but the leader's also coming up on lap traffic. Brian Wertman is just about half a corner up ahead of him. You can see him right there on your screen. So that's going to put some dirty air on the front end of that 71, and it's going to help those behind Truhl catch up to the back bumper. And I see Hicksonball. I see, oh, we have one car into the outside wall, saving it. Lucas Hoytsma now trying to make a move on Von Hinchel back here. Going below the white line.
And you can see him running that bottom, but the two just going to keep that momentum rolling on the top side. Got to blow his doors off as they head their way down the start-to-finish stretch. Von Hinchel with a good race so far, running in P6 right now. Hoytsma, your reigning race winner here in this series, potentially looking to go back-to-back.
Take a look at the lead right here. Here comes Bryson Hicksonball making his move. I saw it, no doubt about it. Looked like he had a run, and Truhl just lets him have it and falls in behind, with Charles Velasquez Jr. now on the back bumper of the 71. New leader, Bryson Hicksonball, is taking that 63 Team Conti-Sim Performance car up to the lead on lap 21. Early in this race, showing some speed out of that camp. But remember, it's a long race. We got to see who's going to stay up front if they're able to maintain. But they also got to navigate lap traffic. There's so many things that could affect the day here. But one of the worst parts about driving at Darlington around this hour, if you could go on board with one of the drivers, if we could, maybe Von Hinchel here would be good to look at. Right there is perfect. What you're going to see on the back straightaway, I want you to pay attention to the sun, because that glare is just horrible. When you're driving going into turn number 3 and 4, oh, as you see right there in front of him, Hoytsma got a Darlington stripe just like that, but right here, watch the racetrack. Where is the lines? You cannot see where the lines are. It blends because it's so bright right there, and you can't tell where you're going. So you got to be very careful, especially if you have the graphics up all the way. A lot of drivers like to turn that off if they're trying to be e-sporty, I guess, but I always like the sim drivers, those that like to simulate real, and let that be. But it is a challenge, Ron.
Yes, certainly a challenge, and this is one of those racetracks where driver comfort is a massive priority. So if you don't have that comfort, you're going to be done for. As looking a little bit farther up the road, Delaney and Velasquez Jr. starting to squabble here for third.
Yeah, Delaney just made that pass pretty dang clean. Delaney was so dang quick. I think Delaney's going to move into second if he's lucky. But yeah, Hicksonball is driven away from this, now over half a second ahead of second. And the course of this run here, oh man, look out right there. Reiner diving it in deep there, made the pass, work on the bottom. It's so dangerous in that corner. We saw it earlier whenever we saw the 77 to Seth Foudy get shoved up into the outside wall. He was running top 10. Now he's 17th. That's just how dangerous it could be. You can lose a lot of spots.
Yeah, but coming back to the point that I was raising a few moments ago, before the battles a little bit farther up the road started to intensify, driver comfort is a massive factor to do well here at Darlington. If you're not feeling comfortable, you're not going to be able to do well at all. This is that racetrack where you're dancing with the devil throughout. You're getting close to that wall. You are sawing at the wheel. This is a workout for these drivers here tonight, from the front of the field all the way through to the back. So whether it be visibility, whether it be the handling of your car, whether it even be the temperature in the room that your sim rig is in, doesn't really matter. The point still remains the same. That driver comfort is massive. So any small little trip up going to be massive for these racers and could very easily affect their pace.
Take a look right here. Delaney making a move for second right there. Moves it up. He's up another spot just like that. More cars constantly making move. 3-wide move. Dyson in the back straightaway if we can get a camera on it. 2 retro-looking cars side by side. It's going to be one hell of a photo right here. He's in a wall. He's going to still be 3-wide. Look out, folks. This ain't good. Hang on to it, 41. Hang on to it, 91 and 21. All the ones are around here. Oh, look out. Every single car on your screen has a 1 in it somewhere. Oh, he put him in a wall. 14 Blake Kluot put the 91 up there into the outside wall. That's Michael Deach going the wrong direction.
Oh, Deach in that wonderful red, white, and blue car. The old retro look up against the barrier. He was still bouncing off there. Looks like he has finally recovered, running down in 25th and at risk of losing even more spots. That's another factor when it comes to racing at Darlington. It gets physical very quickly. Usually when you think about physical racing, you think of the tracks that have the slowest turns, the short tracks and the road courses. Here at Darlington, though, it can get physical very quickly, and it can end in tears very quickly, too. It's one of those tracks where a small little trip up, especially heading out of turn number 2, God forbid we have something like that go on here tonight, but the last time I was covering a race at Darlington, I saw this heading out of 2, all through 1 and 2 for that matter. It wasn't even on the exit of the turn. It was midway through it. One driver has a sideways snap, and everybody toggles in right in tow as the 18 bouncing off the wall about 5 times to that section.
It's just going to be like this the longer the run goes. These tires are just going to start wearing in, and then the drivers are going to start making more and more mistakes. And I can tell you right now, the top 10 is separated by 4 seconds. But one of my favorite battles on track right now, I'm looking right at it, it's this battle going on from Ryan Von Henschel all the way back to Daniel Wiles. You kind of got this large pack of 5 cars right here that are just trying to maintain, is the best way I could describe it. You're looking right now at the 73 McWhorter, but they're kind of close up together. So if one makes a mistake, the other would capitalize and vice versa. That's why they're kind of stuck together as McWhorter's trying to make a move on Von Henschel here to the bottom.
It's so close to contact as they head their way off through the turn. Von Henschel's had a up and down start to the season, certainly shown some pace, but hasn't gotten the results to show it off either. Same can be said as well for our reigning champion of Joseph McWhorter. He's been fast throughout the season, just some bad luck and some tough breaks catching Matt. Still holding on to 3rd at the moment in the points, but I think he's looking for maybe something a little bit more as this battle is still going to intensify. The battle's starting to heat up as we get into the final 15 laps of this first stage. Hickson Ball and Delaney now very close to one another, getting familiar with each other's bumpers as they head their way into one.
Oh, they race each other all the dang time. They know what it's like to run against each other. They know how competitive each one of each other is. Caution's out. We got a wreck happening down on turns 1 and 2, it looks like. Let's see if we can't find where it's coming from. Oh, no, there's Hunter Bogdan in the 86. Look out, look out, he hit the leader. He hit the leader. The leader came around, he got clipped, 6 car, got spun in turns 1 and 2.
Now, I think Delaney at that point was running in 2nd, but still, that's going to be disastrous for him. I wonder what the damage situation is on that car. Certainly Bogdan with that spin and with the rejoin probably got to pick up a penalty there as well. We'll reel this back a bit, figure out what the deal is. Heads his way down into 3 and 4, running a little bit farther on the bottom and just snaps around real quick. I wonder if he maybe blew out a tire there. Now, iRacing is a little bit finicky in terms of the way they simulate the tires, but you can do something like that. Not hearing about a meatball flag, which usually would be triggered in the event of a tire blowout, I think he just flat out lost control and backing up and clipping the side Delaney. I'm sure the aero on that car is probably done for. Even with the right-hand side usually whacked up on these cars, that's still going to hurt. And the suspension, too.
So here I'm going to pause you here for a second, Ron. That by far is absolutely going to be one of those things that is not very good at all, man. Look, that instance there is a rookie moment. It is definitely one of those things for that 86 car. When he goes back and looks at this, he is going to probably feel more embarrassed than ever. And the number one anger that I'm going to see is Delaney. Delaney was catching the leader. He was on the back bumper. He was about to make the pass for the lead. And now he's got that right rear damage, and it is going to hinder his race. He's got to stay in the pit lane longer to get that damage repaired, if it's even possible. And once that damage is repaired, he has to go through the whole field again. I guarantee you he's going to stay on pit road. But understand that this is one of those things in racing that happen, Ron. You got guys that don't remember to look before you back up. You think it's clear, too, when you're at Darlington, because everybody's just going to go by up on the regular racing line. He doesn't think that anybody's going to go behind him, but he didn't check either. Always be aware of your surroundings when you're in a race car. See, Delaney's stuck on pit road. Everybody else goes on by. This was the first caution of the day. And I got to say, if we could look at the 86, because I don't understand how he spun out. It doesn't make sense to me on how that 86 got, like, loose. It looked so unorthodox.
Yeah, it is a very odd spin, and the 86 already expressing regret for that. Certainly a rookie mistake to make, to be sure, but lost up in all of that is how done for the 6.
I got it.
That is not like race-altering damage. That's pretty much race-ending damage. There you can see that snap. That is huge. And let's take a look at this onboard shot here, Kirk. Look at the wheel.
It's his RPM.
Fine.
His RP. No, that's what I'm talking about. I think he money shifted to reverse, maybe. I don't know. But something happened with the gearing where he switched gears to a lower gear and immediately the car got loose and spun out. So that was what I was trying to mention here, Ron. It's just I don't know how that could happen. I don't know his gearing setup, but that's what caused the initial spin. Now the second part is not very good at all. But we re-racked him. Some folks decided they wanted to stay out. Look up front. You got Hoytsma, Von Henschel, Wiles up front. You also got the 22 up there, the 5. A few more guys up there trying to make their strategy call to get some stage points. Here we go. The top 15 are on old tires. Good luck, folks. It's going to be chaotic. Here we go on the restart zone, and we are back underway. Spun tires all around, no doubt about it. Cars getting out of the way. Some cars trying to get into turn number 1 smoothly as the leaders have fresher tires, and they got to wait their turn to get through this pack. It's for the lead on the outside. Look at the 88. Not quite for the lead for second place as Hoytsma's gotten away. This is the battle for second. There goes Von Henschel into the wall. Huge crash. The 5 car sliding. Look out. He's fine. He saved it. He's good. No caution. Keeping it green.
Yeah, and Hoytsma driving away as pandemonium breaking out behind the 5 and the 2 involved in that close quarter stuff as they had their way down the back straightaway, ending in tears. I don't think it has ended there yet. Wiles and Simpson now battling out hard. I actually know that's Hoytsma and Wiles. Where in the hell did Daniel Wiles come from? Hoytsma had checked out and now he's right there.
You know, it's one of those things. Maybe that 88 car's got a little something in his jet fuel or something. More cars getting into the wall in turns 3 and 4 all over the place. Von Henschel's going the wrong way. Oh, they're wrecking off at turn number 4. I see 3 cars and picks and balls involved. Huge crash. The big one happens on the front straightaway. 16 cars. Oh, my goodness. That's 8 cars all involved here. And, it's terrible. I cannot believe what I just saw, Ron.
I cannot either. We're gonna have to take a look at several replays of this. It's the classic case of the Darlington squeeze, as I like to call it, heading out of the turn. Let's start off with the incident that kind of started it all. The 2 Von Henschel kind of self-clearing himself, trying to widen the berth into 3 and 4, and the 5 just getting clipped and all that. And then I think just a sprinkled amount of damage on all these race cars probably led to the incident going down a little bit later on. Let's see there. We're going to take a look at this replay here real quick. Daniel Wiles, the 97 got up against the wall big time. That's how the 88 was able to close up that margin. And look at that. He appears like an Axis-F missile and nearly goes for the race lead. So take a look at the replay that actually caused this yellow to take place. That's a 21-2. They got into each other even before they turned into 3 and 4. And then in the ensuing stack up and scattering of the pack, drama breaking out. There's the 21 getting inside the 63, and they just all stack up behind.
What ended up happening there, of course, that 21 car, Eric Wineland, I believe, is the 21 tonight. I'm going to triple check that. Yeah, Eric Wineland. He's up into the outside wall. He gets up into the outside wall, and it bounces him down into the left rear quarter panel, the 63 of Hicksonball, and it's a chain reaction from there. Everybody should be on the brakes, but Von Henschel, the 01 of Casey Graves, the 29 of Tanner Marty, all of these guys get involved in this accident after this contact. And, man, it's just... Darlington is not being kind to these guys, and the 63 is just very unlucky there. Because he was the leader. He had a good shot of staying up front, but he's got a lot of front-end damage. A lot of cars here have damage, and it's going to be a while before we see how this works out. But we're not even at the stage. This won't be the stage. So up front, the 88 of Wiles, I believe, is going to have the lead right now, but that could be subject to change. Just keep that in mind. More cars came down pit road to get some damage repair, but just like that, you can see your meatballs. Kluot, Graves, Winslow, and Hunter. That means they're going to be on pit road for at least 8 minutes at the minimum. Ron, this is an absolute chaotic mess.
Yeah, chaos is one way of putting it. It's rather dampened what was looking to be a very intriguing end to this stage with some drivers running on massively old tires. It's taken one strong contender out of it. Both sides of the coin with those top two when that first yellow came out have now run into issues. The sixth got collected almost immediately. He's not sure if he has rejoined the racetrack or not. The major damage on that race car. That's not a matter of just slap a little bit of tape on it all as well. I think the entire rear end of that car was all sorts of bent up to hell. So he's going to have a very tough road ahead, that sixth car is. He's down at the back. And we just saw that moment from Hicksonball. That is going to be a big moment from him. We'll have to see how that potentially hurts him out in the championship points too. But regardless, we got to think about the end of this stage. It's going to be Wiles and Simpson up at the front. Your top five comprised entirely of drivers who stayed out through these yellows. Hunter Trull, though, in that 71 car, along with Joseph McWhorter in the 73, they're going to look to put on a charge with 7-lap old tires compared to your top five running on 41-lap old tires. That is a massive difference here at Darlington, which is basically a Goodyear cheese grater.
If you say so, we're going to find out more as we continue. But I got to tell you right now, top group of guys has Hunter Trull catching up to the back bumper of them. Here we go, back underway. Wiles gets a great jump there on the outside with the 95 right in tow. Take a look right there going into turns number 1 and 2. Again, that's Wesley Napier in the 95, a rookie. These top two guys are rookies, Napier and Wiles, so that's awesome to see. Love to see that stuff over the course of the run. It might change. Keep an eye around. You never know what could happen here on these restarts. And we're trying to get a lap 45 for the stage. Remember that, folks.
Yeah, so only a few laps until we get to that stage break. So I think these racers, they have that pressure of trying to get a good spot, but after 2 yellows and a massive accident to bring out the latest one, there may be a bit more tempered in their charge. But McWhorter looking to try and get some moves done here side by side with himself on the 71. This is a battle of those cars with the fresher tires, and that's McWhorter going to muscle his way past off through 1 and 2, now up to 3rd, and he's going to look for a spot on Wesley Napier side by side as they head their way down the backstretch into 3 and 4. And now there's only one, but he's already alongside Daniel Wiles. This is going to be tense 2x2 pack up in the front. McWhorter going to try and jump into the race lead as Trull going to look to get a 2-for-1 deal. He jumps into second.
73 making the pass the only way he knows how. He's able to bully that 71 up and out of the way. Now it's going to be a battle between the top two for the spot as they're wrecking off of turn number 2. There goes Zodiac hard in the inside wall. Caution not out yet, staying green. Front end damage for him. Coming around to get the one more lap to go in the stage. It is still McWhorter and Truel, top 2.
God, we are bump drafting at Darlington. I don't expect this to end well if those racers try and do it throughout the night. But this is going to be intense. McWhorter and Truel covered by a 10th and a half as they head their way down the backstretch into 3 and 4. This for a stage win.
Coming through the final couple corners, what is the 71 willing to do? 73 on the bottom, followed by the 71. Not enough. Coming to the line, Joseph McWhorter is going to be able to win stage number 1, a chaotic stage number 1. And then Truel will grab second. Coming to the line for the rest of the folks on your screen. We're going to find out where they end up. Stage is out. There you go. Stage caution's out. So let's go ahead and take a look at our finishing results for the top 10. Here we go. McWhorter, Truel, Wiles, Napier, Lowry gets 5th. Velasquez Jr. is probably the only one in the top 5 at the beginning of the stage who's still there at the end of the stage. Then you got Jacob Simpson, Jeremy B. Brown, who finished 2nd last week. Really dang cool car there. 8th, Michael Deach. Wow, way to come back in that 91 after that little contact with the wall earlier. And Seth Foudy, also great comeback. Remember, that big wreck took a lot of guys out, Ron, so we're going to have some folks come down pit road and check it all out. Here's what happened to Zodiac. Not Zodiac's fault at all there, Ron, don't you think?
Yeah, it's another Darlington moment as they headed their way out of turn number 2. We've seen a lot of that thus far here tonight. Drivers bouncing off the wall and then into the path of another car. Drivers stacking it up. It's been a Darlington race to its core as we have some drivers coming down pit lane on some older tires. So you can see just a flood of racers coming down pit lane right now. This is going to be... it's going to kind of even the playing field to a certain degree, but it'll still be... I still think it'll be a bit up in the air, honestly, Kirk. All that chaos, I still think there is some unanswered questions with only one stage in the rearview mirror.
You know, one thing I got to mention about while we're here is just the kind of chaotic beginning to this race. I got to reiterate something. We started this race with 39 cars out there on the track. By the end of stage 1, we have 9 cars that are not on the lead lap anymore. That just shows that chaos that we had to deal with there. Drivers that are in this, that are out of this race early, I thought were going to be able to stick around a lot longer. Cliff Mullins, Jesse Winslow, who started in 2nd, not going to finish today outside of the top. Outside of top 30. Blake Kluwat, also out. Another driver who was fast. Eric Wineland in the 21s getting his damage repaired on pit road right now. Might come back out. Tyler Hunter, also out of this race. Jonathan Delaney, out of the race. He is done for the day. I mean, these guys were up front. These guys had a good shot to win the race. Ron, I mean, so much could change so quickly. And now the 63 is back on the lead lap, but he's at the tail end of that lead lap, getting most of his damage repaired.
Yeah, and in the world of racing, especially at Darlington, close quarters and in a blink of an eye, frankly, your race can go from feeling fantastic to feeling dreadful. Talk about those top 2 before we had that first yellow. We had Hicksonball in front of Delaney. Look where they both are at the moment. Hicksonball's all the way back down outside the top 25. Delaney is out. What is to say that between now and the end of this, the second stage coming up on lap 90, we won't have any more chicanery like that go on? We still have about 98 laps left to go here in this race. If the first 47 is anything to go off of, we're in for a wild one. I don't think you can really nail down who will have a good shot to win until we get into the final 10 laps, frankly.
But I can tell you who you want to watch right now. McWhorter, Truel, and Velasquez. These guys are on older tires. Now you're going to see Seth Foudy, who's in 4th, have the freshest set of tires, and he was in a wall wrecking earlier. We're back underway. Let's see what he's able to do. Now he's got up towards the front. This restart's going to be important. A lot of cars trying to avoid any mistakes. Heading into turn 1, side by side for third right now is Foudy. Now side by side for fourth with the 95 of Hoytsma trying to make the bottom work.
And although they single file out up towards the front, drivers still squabbling up side by side. Here we go, Daniel Weil, Seth Foudy. This is a battle for fifth at the moment. These two looking to tempt fate. We've seen these two drivers get really tussly so far. They've brought the aggression, they've brought the thunder and heat here at Darlington, but they haven't brought heat to themselves right now. It's been a very well composed drive for the both of them. In the meantime, though, another battle that I think we should keep tabs on is that battle for second. Hunter Truex and Charles Velasquez Jr. Velasquez coming back to the series, looking to bounce his way back up into P2 as Truex stuck on the outside. That's Velasquez attempting a slide job as he heads his way off through 3 and 4, and that's going to be second for Velasquez.
You're going to see this side-by-side battle in most of this run. This track is such a pain in the neck. Golly, you just cannot find a break. Nobody is going to be able to stay calm here, it seems like. We only had the first 30 laps feeling kind of fine, and then the chaos broke out. So, again, we're single filed out now. McWhorter's got the lead after winning stage 1 on older tires. Velasquez and Hoytsma there running second and third. Oh man, this guy's just loose, man. Just constant. You're never done fighting a car here. It just never gets easy. It never feels comfortable. You're always on edge, man.
And you brought it up a bit earlier on in this broadcast, Kirk, talking about the unique shape of this track, the koi pond, and the other farmer that didn't want his koi pond to be taken from him. So they had to build around it, and that's why one of the turns is a heck of a lot tighter than the other. That's been making it tricky for crew chiefs to set up the cars for this track for decades, really ever since it first opened back in the 1950s. There is no good handling car at Darlington. There is only the least terrible.
That's one way to put it. I kind of like that description. You know, I got to say, though, at the end of the day, I'm looking at the cars on track. You're starting to see a handful of cars pull away. All the way back to the 42 car are the ones that are pulled away so far. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars out there. As the battle for second heats up again. Look at that. Hoytsma wants to get by Velasquez. He gets down and out of the way, and 97 will take over second after Velasquez lets him go.
Yeah, we've got some very good aces up in the front of the field. We've got Joseph McWhorter, Lucas Hoytsma, Charles Velasquez Jr., Hunter Truex, and Seth Foudy. And although some of them have race wins in their back pocket, others are looking to break through for one of the very first times. Your top three, though, proven winners. And the two drivers right behind have shown themselves to be very fast thus far here tonight. As we look through the field, we just saw it a few moments ago, and we'll jump back to it once more. Andrew Dyson's a storyline that we have to keep tabs on, currently running in 8th. But this top two battle for the race lead looking to get hot once more. McWhorter and Hoytsma covered by less than 10th. Hoytsma diving down the inside off through 3 and 4. Gonna attempt the slide job as McWhorter gonna cut his way around, breaking at the machete. Will he be able to cut his way back down to the inside? He will not. Hoytsma jumps to the top spot.
I don't think he's done. I think that's one thing you got to look at is stints. Can we pull back up the stints real quick for a second there, Howie? Seeing those stints would help us understand the top two situations. See, fresher tires for Hoytsma. He's been out there for 17 laps versus McWhorter's 23. So fresher tires are going to obviously help you. First car on super fresh tires, Daniel Wiles in the 88. He's got a ways to go to keep going. But like you said, I'm looking here at the cars on the track, and I think Hoytsma's going to start pulling away from this pack, and he might even gain a huge lead out of this. 77 of Seth Foudy and the 88 of Wiles are trying to race each other pretty dang hard. Two rookies. You're looking at them on the screen. These guys are brand spanking new to the league. They're one of the guys that I'd like to watch all season. Really dang cool folks, though, and they're really quick, and I think they're going to be a staple here the longer we see them in the series.
I will say, talking about the tire situation here tonight, it's a small difference in the grand scheme of things between Hoytsma and McWhorter. 6 laps, not huge in the grand scheme of a 147-lap long race. These drivers have 5 tire sets allotted to them throughout those. So small little differences like that will snowball into being a game changer. A little bit later on, we'll have to see who's going to have their game changed in a good way and others who's going to have their game, sunk like a hot air balloon that just got shot down.
One thing I'm noticing right off the bat is driver who was leading a lot of laps early on, Bryson Hicksonball, is running right now tail of the field 26, barely on the lead lap. I think he has too much damage to be competitive at this point. So, I mean, we'll see if he's able to repair the damage and come back, but he's been going really slow lap after lap in that 63.
Wheel. God, that wheel looks repulsive just holding it. You can tell pretty major suspension damage on that car. And of course, here in this series, no fast repairs allotted to these drivers. So if you tag the wall, if you tag your competition and your suspension is wrecked, you have two options. You either have to spend 50 years down in pit lane to look to repair it, or you find yourself in a situation like this. It's not the worst handling thing I've ever seen. I've seen water beds that were doused in olive oil sliding down grassy hills better than that. But that is a bar so low that an ant could give itself a concussion off of it.
Well, he's letting the leaders go now, so I think his day might be nearing its end, unfortunately for the 63. Not going to be able to maintain a good points day out of this if he can't recover. Staying green, remember this, folks, we're trying to get down to the end of Stage 2 now. Stage 2, remember, ends at lap 90. So we got a ways to go. Hicksonball decides to go down pit road, and I think he's going to call it quits here today.
And I can't blame him one bit. Probably a night of disappointment more than anything else. And the driver in the number 63 car pulling it into the pits on lap 63. That may very well be the end of his night. It's not the end for everybody, though. Far from it. In fact, we've got a lot of racing action to look forward to here on Maconi Entertainment tonight. We got some side-by-side battling going on right behind Seth Foudy. That's Mason Lowry and Matthew Boston Wheeler. They were looking to get dicey there. I think they have cooled off in their fight for now. Still have a long time left to go. He has dropped down one spot, but Andrew Dyson's still inside the top 10. A brilliant drive after starting all the way towards the back.
Well, look at this. Daniel Wiles in the 88 car, rookie, makes a pass for second on fresh tires compared to Joseph McWhorter's 30-lap old tires. He's got double the tire length there of him. So he's able to make that pass for second. Now the 88's going to try and chase down half a second up the road is Lucas Hoytsma. He's got a ways to go to do that, but he sees him, and I think that 88 car, this is the first time we've seen him with top 2, top 3 speed. So now after all those accidents that took out the leaders, I mean, it's his only shot now. I mean, these guys are going to be having more and more go up.
Ooh, golly, these drivers getting so sideways hanging out of the turns. It feels like my bones are sitting in vinegar whenever I see these race cars running around this track. It's just an unenviable feeling of, like my soul feels wiggly. Oh, golly.
Did you just say my soul feels wiggly?
Yes, I did.
Am I ashamed of it?
Yes. Yeah. That's fresh coming from me. Mason Lowry dropping down to lucky spot P13, though. He was a bit wiggly himself as he headed his way out of turn number 1 and 2. It's another case of the Darlington squeeze.
No one calls it the Darlington squeeze.
I call it the Darlington squeeze, and I'm here with my microphone on.
Okay. To each his own, I guess. Yeah, that was something. This little pack is dangerous right now, folks. Man, 41 cars all in it. And right up here, oh goodness, the 83 of Benefield. He's all over the back bumper. Reiner trying to make a move to the inside of the 10 car of Matthew Boston Wheeler.
Yeah, they're real close to one another. Look at this train of cars. Matthew Boston Wheeler, Bryce Reiner, Adam Benefield, Andrew Dyson, Noah Woods, and Wesley Napier. All covered by practically nothing. You can put them all under the same blanket, and that train even extends to the likes of Mason Lowry, the likes of Kyle Amon, everybody else right up in tow. But this battle having to go on. The status quo changing as Matthew Boston Wheeler stalls out on the momentum all through 3 and 4. He's going to lose out on 2 spots in one shot. Reiner and Benefiel both got a move done on him, heading down the start-finish straightaways. We are under yellow on lap 69.
Looking on, turns 1 and 2 is where it is, folks. I see 1 and 2 is where this wreck took place. It looks like it was going into turn number 1. Let's see if we can't. Is it? I'm going to take a look and see if I can't find it, folks. Bear with me. Oh, to 75, Charles Eaton and Jeremy B. Brown in the 07. 75 and the 07. That's going to be where this wreck came from. Yep, let's back it up a little bit if we can. Here we go. So you see the 75 of Eaton there on the bottom. And Jeremy B. Brown. Oh, he didn't know he was there. Yeah, and he goes into the corner. And Jeremy B. Brown and him just go up into the wall. Luckily, I don't think that's going to do too much damage. But it's enough to where, it's going to be some front end. Probably going to need to come down and get some repairs for these guys. But they should be able to continue after that. But that will be yet another caution here on laps. Let's see. That's 70, it looks like. Pit stops. Who's going to pull strategy this time, Ron?
And fascinating to see Lucas Hoytsma, who originally was the one that stayed out, saying, nope, I'm not staying out. I'm going to be one of the first to come down pit lane. Pied Piper of that strategy call. I'm going to be honest here, Kirk. I think these racers, they're going to maybe sacrifice their run here in stage number 2. Maybe they're trying to angle to get to the end, which, does make sense. You want to grab the checkered flag of the race instead of grabbing the green and white checkers of the stage. That's what I think they're going for here, because with 20 laps left to go on the stage, it is a bit early.
One thing I got to tell you is these guys have made split decisions throughout the field. These guys on pit road chose to come and take tires, whatever reason it may be. We'll find out later in the run, Ron, if that works out. But the folks on the racetrack are pulling a big risk here. Seth Thowdy, Bryce Reiner, of course, Adam Benefiel, Matthew Boston Wheeler, Andrew Dyson. These guys all out here decided that they wanted to try their luck and, stay out on older tires. Noah Woods, Daniel, looks like Wesley Napier is one of them. Mason Lowry, Kyle Ammon, Michael Deitch, and I think that is everybody on the lead lap. And then you got Lucas Hoytsma. So Hoytsma's got a ways to go. He's got to pass the entire top 10 in order to get stage points. But remember, he's only got to get to lap 90. 90 is the lap these guys got to make it to before the fresh tires get there. I don't know if they can do it, Ron. I think it's too much time. What do you think?
As I said, I think these racers are more focused on making it to the end of the race than they are making it to the stage. Now, they will have a pretty solid tire advantage with 30 laps being the difference, roughly 30 laps, close enough to 30 whereby I'll count it as such. That's still not going to really do them too well come time at the start of the final stage. So it's not a matter of doing that. It's just a little bit of strategery chicanery to try and affect their race later on. I said this earlier on talking about the tires and the small little incremental gains that he can make throughout the race that will eventually just snowball and help you out later on. That's kind of what we have right now. It's a big swing for sure, but one that's it's a swing trying to land a fence that's even outside of the ballpark.
Well, we're about to get back underway and see if he's able to catch up. We're going to find out if Hoytsma and McWhorter can catch through this field and get some stage points. That's what we're going to see. Folks staying out, trying to risk it. Back underway. Outside line got a good jump. Well, Seth Thowdy got a good jump. Not quite Matthew Boston Wheeler that time. Heading into turn 1, side by side for the lead. Bryce Reiner on the bottom. He's going to dive it in deep. Going to come up, and he is going to take the lead away. Remember, last week, he had a screen freeze and wrecked before the start at the FLCC race. But now he is in the lead and has a shot to win a stage. Hey, there goes Benefiel, man. No doubt about it. He's fast.
Yeah, Benefield was able to grab the win in this race last season in the spring. Looking to repeat as the winner here at Darlington. Certainly fast already in this season and looking to keep that going. That 83 car is fast. I think that's an old AC Delco throwback scheme, which I absolutely adore. Currently holding on to P2, though, so clearly has some pace within that machine. We'll have to see if he has enough to try and rattle the cage of Reiner. Certainly gets close. As we have the side-by-side squabbling going on behind with Seth Foudy. Andrew Dyson 3 wide. That's going to be a tight squeeze.
I knew it from that restart. Hoytsma was going to be able to get through this pack easy peasy. Him and the 88 of Wiles, fresh tires, passing these guys like they're standing still. So they're going to be able to try everything they can to continue that path. As we got contact in the back, they save it, hang on to it. 71-73. Fresh tires trying to go against older tires. And they're just trying to gain back those spots is all. Look out, Matthew Boston-Wheeler slightly slow on the top. They're going to lose more time, but up front, again, I think Hoytsma is going to catch Reiner and Hoytsma very soon. He's already there. You can see it on your screen.
So now we've got ourselves a 3-car pack. 2 drivers with very old tires, 1 with fresh, and that shows you the difference right there. Hoytsma pretty much driving past Bryce Reiner as if he was standing still. Hoytsma on those 5-lap tires, jumping up over Bryce Reiner in that 5 P1 for Hoytsma. A clean road ahead as we try and aim towards the end of this stage. Clearly shows you, hey, Darlington, it is that classic tire cheese grater.
Benefield got up into the outside wall in turn 1 and 2. He lost 2 spots. He was in second, drops back now all the way from third, I should say. Now got passed by Wiles and Velasquez, 2 fresh tires cars. And he's still going to be under fire from Truel as well, who flies on by. These fresh tires, I knew were going to get through this very quickly. You see now Wiles has caught Reiner. He's making the pass down to the inside. It is clear, and he is going to be keeping that car on the move. Trying to chase back up to the back bumper of Hoytsma, but he's a second and a half ahead. He's got a lot of ground to make up and not a lot of time to do it.
Yeah, so the time is running out here in this second stage. These racers still, though, with grand aspirations to make up some more spots. Saw some squabbling going on right there in tow. McWhorter and the rest of those drivers on some newer tires trying to get past the old guard, the likes of Reiner and Benefield. Now, again, we can't read into this too much. This is a kind of a later call that these drivers are trying to make. Come time for the end, though, whoever has that tire advantage in the final 30 laps, you can forget about it. They'll be gone.
As this run has continued to go on, we have 24 cars out there still in the lead lap. And that's going to be something that's pretty interesting to follow as we continue. But one thing I want to bring up, I want to mention a driver who I found a statistic for that really surprised me. And that statistic is a driver of the number 27. Can we get a camera on Tim Phillips real quick if we can? 27. There he is. So Tim Phillips. This guy, you may not see him very often, week in and week out, but I can tell you what, he has been here longer over the past year and a half than any other driver in the series. He has 37 starts, more than anyone else. Even Hicksonball has 36. But this guy, he shows up to the races. He's not always in contention for wins, but I gotta mention that he's always here racing with these guys. And he's one of the safest drivers too. And his incidents per start is nearly identical to Bryson, which is saying something. At 4 incidents per start on average, pretty dang good for that 27 car. He's a safe driver, but it's just so cool to see him come out week in and week out and constantly racing these races. I've been wanting to mention him for a while, and now I definitely can. So there you go. He's running really decent right now. Obviously, he's just trying to hang on to the tail end of the lead lap. We'll see if he's able to get a top 20 this week.
And as we continue to see the racing going on out there on the racetrack, I want to bounce off that point that he raised just there, Kirk, talking about Tim Phillips and a driver who shows up week in and week out, always keeps it clean, always brings it home, and gets some pretty good results out of it, just keeping his nose clean. how I first got into the world of stock car racing in real life. I was always a sports car guy, even though I was always a road course guy, even though I first got into motorsports through drag racing. It was stories from the back of the field. If anyone has tuned in to one of my favorite, racing history series on the internet, Brock Beard's series of Field Fillers, that's a good series. You hear some of the stories all throughout the NASCAR world, from the top of the field of your race winners all the way through to the tail end with the racers who just show up for the fun. They want to show up, have a good time, battle hard, and do what they love doing, and that is driving race cars. Even here in the sim, you have drivers like that. We love to have them week in and week out. Wesley Napier holding on to a top 10 spot right now in the midst of some very intriguing company with the likes of himself, Noah Woods, Andrew Dyson. It's running a little bit farther up the road. A gap has blown out between your 8th and 9th place runners of Dyson and Woods. In fact, there is Woods right now, and all the way there is Dyson, who's right on the back of Adam Benefiel, but has no real pressure right behind him. As the battling going on for second. This is Wiles and Velasquez Jr. Close quarter stuff as they had their way off through 3 and 4, and that's Velasquez jumping up into that spot.
Moving up to second, 18 car. Not going to have enough time to catch to the back bumper of Hoytsma, but he's definitely going to get an extra point here for the stage. Remember, we're just about 5 laps away from the end of the stage when they cross the stripe. We'll get probably, I believe, 4 laps to go when they cross the stripe. And it's all about just getting to the finish here if you're drivers on older tires. If you're like one of these drivers like Noah Woods, Andrew Dyson, Benefiel, or even Bryce Reiner. These guys, they're going to be 100% just trying to coast. Don't get lapped. Coast to the end. Try and save that extra set of tires.
As we jump around throughout the field, this is number 92, Brendan Hunsinger, a driver that we haven't really talked about throughout this broadcast, but currently holding on to 19th at the moment. 16 laps into this stint for him, while those drivers who came down pit lane during that latest yellow. Now with only a handful of laps left to go until we get to the end of the stage here, Kirk, everybody trying to settle this race into a groove after what has been a bit of a wild child streak for this field. Ever since we had that first yellow come out, it's been a bit of a green-yellow cycle, but now these racers looking to end off this stage with a final heave-ho to bring out that green and white checker.
Up front, that lead is really stretched out. Take a look at that 97 if we can get a camera on him for a quick second. The leader of this race, you can see the long gap he has. That 97 in the X-Side machine reminds me of, I think it's a Jeff Burton old paint scheme, like one of the old 99 X-Side paints. Mm-hmm. I've seen that in a lot of different ways. Just depends on who drove it. But definitely a really dang cool throwback for him. He's going to come to the line to get 1 lap to go on the stage. But remember this. This guy, he's the FLCC champion from last year. And he also won this race last week. So the Friday Night Lights series, he's trying to be a multi-time winner here if he's able to do it at the end of 147. But at the end of 90, he's going to come around, and he's going to probably, if he's able to hang on to it, come around, final corner. Come on there, pal. Let's see if you can get around. He's going to be there to win stage number 2 here in the Time Travel 200.
I think Hoytsma has had a super duper quick race car throughout the night, and it just seeming to increase his grip on this race and increase his grip on this series after a win last time out, looking to keep that momentum rolling as your entire top 10 has come across the stripe. Here's how they line up after 90 laps tonight. Lucas Hoytsma with the stage 2 win over Charles Velasquez Jr. in second. Daniel Wiles is in third. Joseph McWhorter is in fourth in front of Hunter Truex in fifth. Bryce Reiner is in sixth. Benefiel, Andrew Dyson, Michael Mesnard, and Tanner Marty completing your top 10 at the end of stage number 2 tonight here, Kirk. It's been a wild one, but right now Lucas Hoytsma looks to be the class of the field.
You're absolutely right. That's for sure. But I got to mention a driver that just came across that line to get a stage point for the first ones he's had all season. And, I got to give him some props. Congrats to him. It is going to be Mesnard, Michael Mesnard. Lunar Racing Performance, the 35 car, ended up getting his first stage points of the year. And I believe that that is worth talking to him. We don't get to see him up front that often. And I think I'm going to pull him in here for an interview here in just a second. Once he's done with his pit stop, we're going to pull him in here and see how he's doing. I don't want to bother him while he's doing pit road entries, of course. So let's keep an eye on him and see how he does. First time ever getting stage points in the series that I can recall for that 35. And, man, that's cool for him. Happy for him. I'm not sure if his relation to Evan Mesnard in the Cup Series, I think it might be his dad. It could be his brother, it could be his son. I don't know. We're going to find out when we talk to him. And that's something I want to do. So as he heads down into the pit lane, again, the 35 car has Jay Pepsi on a car, rookie this year, trying to make his first starts. And I think he's doing pretty dang good here, Ron. We're going to see if we can't bring him up here shortly. Hang on just one second. There we go, got him. Michael Mesnard, Kirk up here in the booth. You got a copy, pal. He is muted on his mic. Hang on, let's see if he can't get that fixed here in a second.
There we
Michael,
go.
hey, Michael, how you doing? You got a
Good.
copy?
How are you?
Doing fine, pal. Is this your first stage points of the year?
Yes, it is.
Man, I gotta say, gotta ask you, out of curiosity, what's your relation to Evan Mesnard? Are you guys father-son?
Yeah, he's my son.
Oh, that's awesome, Michael. I gotta say, you went out there, you got yourself a stage win. Stage points, I should say, Michael. We'll see you up there one day. But you're a rookie into the series. How do you like it? How's it feel to be able to drive out here? And just tell me about your day so far.
Oh, I'm enjoying myself a lot. It's been really fun. Wish I could be a little faster at more places. I mean, this was pretty much just all on strategy that got me up here. Let's see how we can hold it off on the rest of the race.
All right, man. Well, again, thanks so much for talking with us, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of your run.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no worries, pal. Again, that right there, Michael Mesnard, father to Evan Mesnard. We learned something new. And Ron, right now, I gotta say, we're getting down to the restart here in just a minute there, Howie. Gotta say that. It's gonna be fun. One heck of a restart. 84 laps to go in this race. Sorry, 54. Did I say 54 or 84? I think it's 54. 54. Sorry, it's blending together on my end. Can't see nothing. Need an extra pair of glasses. All right, here we go. Getting that restart zone ready to go. It's going to be the final little stint. Who's going to come home a winner at Darlington? We're going to find out together through turns 3 and 4. That restart zone, we are back underway. Great jump for Hoytsma on the bottom.
Everybody stacked up a little bit as they headed their way into 1 and 2 side by side. The 88 with a bit of the 18, pardon me, with a bit of a wiggle. The 71. No. Oh, he's held on to it.
Oh, what a save. Oh, man, that is an amazing save, but that ain't over, folks. Still 3 wide in some places. McWhorter's got to get it back up on the racetrack without losing too much more. Looks like he's going to be 3 wide on the exit of the corner with Mason Lowry and Seth Foudy. But, yeah, good restart gone worse for that 73. Dropped back quite a bit. Now he's just trying to hang on. Everybody else, though, from second on back, nose to tail, but the leader again, Hoytsma, 2.5 lead over the whole field. I don't know if we're going to see anybody catch back up to him.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. There's the 73, got a bit of a wiggle off through the turn, stacks him up. There was the contact. The 18 kind of getting pushed into him by the 71 there. Yep. And McWhorter should be counting his lucky stars effect. He kept that going in a straight line. Is it a bad restart? Yes. But on the inverse, it's also a great restart because he didn't wreck his car there.
He was turning his wheel all the way to the right. Great save. Great freaking save, Ron. Holy cow. I like it. That's cool, man. Man, he's booking it on down in there. I like that. That's cool. And at the end of the day, man, that's the type of thing that just, gets your heart rate up. Out of anger that you got spun a little bit, and also kind of cool that you saved the car. Live to race another lap. But this ain't over yet. He's got a little bit of left rear damage, so it might slow him down a little bit from that too. But you're looking at Hunter Truex right there sitting third. And Charles Velasquez Jr. has actually cut that gap down to to just 1 second from a second and a half. So I think Velasquez is trying to chase down Hoytsma, and he has a faster car.
Yes, at this point, I feel like it's just Lucas Hoytsma versus the world here tonight. You look at Charles Velasquez Jr. trying to reel in that gap, teetering around that 9/10 of a second to a full second barrier. But Velasquez looking to punch through. Hunter Truex looking to punch through as well. I said earlier on this broadcast, I think Hunter Truex is he's earned a shot at a victory here in this series. I'm still going to stand by that. He's been running good here tonight. P3 at the moment for the driver of the 71 car, Daniel Wiles in P4. Keep an eye on him too, as we still have battling all throughout this pack.
Yeah, 35 car, Michael Mesnard, we talked to him during that break. He's being very kind to the cars around him, letting some folks go, including McWhorter, including Lowry, these guys going forward. But up front, one of my favorite graphics you'll ever see is that gap between the top two cars. It has been closing and closing and closing, lap in, lap out. And whether or not Hoytsman's letting this happen so he can lets Charles burn his stuff up, I don't know. We're going to see. We got plenty of time to find out.
It's a long time left to go here in this race. I'd say a long time, it's like a medium length of time. Only 47 laps left to go here. Pretty much the same length that we had of the stages, just 2 laps stacked onto it. So these racers, they've got some time left to go, but again, it's a medium amount of time left to go. Still enough to stretch their legs out, but they're not lying down on a Tempur-Pedic either.
Man, hey, name dropping a Tempur-Pedic. Man, I'm bed shopping. You're killing me. Oh, get me excited.
Get yourself a purple mattress. They cost like an extortion, but I've had one since 2019. I sleep like a baby every night.
All right.
It's also because I inhale chloroform, but that's besides the point. Joseph McWhorter jumping his way up in the top 10. So Wesley Napier, number 95 car, getting a bit wiggly.
Did you say you inhale chloroform?
Yeah, it knocks me out lickety-split, gets the job done.
God, man. You know, I'm going to pray for you. Okay. Good God. That's the best answer I got for you. We got a race going on. Let's try and get back to business. Okay. Good God. Oh, man. Look at this. Hoytsma starting to pull his lead out even more. He's still scooting away. Okay. God. Anyway, man. I think like what I said earlier about Hoytsma is happening, where he's maintaining the gap. He was letting him do that. I think that might be what's going on here.
Yeah, I think Hoytsma does. He's playing patient here in this race. He doesn't need to fully stretch his legs out right now. He's got time in his back pocket, and with that strategy call that I pulled off earlier on, I think he may still have a set of tires in his back pocket too. I'm feeling good about the chances of that number 97 car, Kirk. I really am. Yeah, I'm going to captain the guess. A few laps ago, that was the first time in the history of this channel that anyone has mentioned inhaling chloroform. So the more you know.
Yeah, anyone got to highlight that? Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I guarantee you that might be on all the Instagrams, Facebooks, all that after a few hours. We'll see how that looks. No shortage of content here from tonight's
smoke
race.
Signals.
Yep, sure. I'm sure it'll be in that in some shape or form. But, man, I got to give... I'm looking at the top 10. I'm trying to see if anyone's standing out to me. And the only names that come to mind that are quote-unquote standouts, Bryce Reiner, Daniel Wiles. The reason why Bryce Reiner, I'm saying him, is because last week we saw what happened to him. He had a problem early, wasn't able to even start the race in the FLCC race. Obviously a great recovery, running in 6th right now. Right in front of him, 2 spots, Daniel Wiles. I mean, this guy, he's a rookie. He's new. And showing that he's got a little bit of talent here. He's right now trying to hang on a position. But Benefiel, who is a guy who I expect to do really good here. When you see that 83 car out there on a racetrack, and you go to a driver's track like Darlington, like Martinsville, Like some of these big tracks where it's going to take, a driver is a big contributing factor to whether or not you have a chance to win. I look at Adam Benefield, and I think that guy has the best shot over the course of a longer run. And so I always say that about the 83. I got a lot of respect for him. And AC Delco looking car, love seeing it. Fun stuff to be had. But he just moved up to 4th, and now he's got 3 seconds behind the leader. He's got a ways to go before he can even get close.
Yeah, but fortunately, in this race, we've still got some ways left. 39 laps left to go here. It feels like we have a lot of time and like no time left here at all. It's funny how that works, but Hoytsma's still the class of the field. Everybody else just trying to figure out who will be the one to try and mount a charge on those top two and punch their way into an opportunity to visit victory lane, either for the first time this season, the second time this season, or maybe even the first time in their FLCC career. Hoytsma making those wall scrapes a bit of a common occurrence, so the handling clearly falling away on all of these race cars. Just look at that glare heading off through into turn number 3 and 4, Kirk, down that backstretch. We mentioned it a bit earlier on in this show, but the shadows are growing longer. The glare is getting brighter. If I was that bright, I wouldn't be sounding as much of a fool as I usually do.
I gotta mention though, man, that this race, with the brightness that you got in turn 1, it's always a pain in your eyes. You can't see nothing. It's one of the worst things you have to deal with is that giant sun. So a lot of people turn it off when you're racing, so that way you don't have to deal with it. Like you can turn off that graphical showing. But for us, we see it every day. I try to reiterate to folks, there's a lot of graphic settings that you can change to be a benefit to you. It changes it easier for you. Makes certain objects transparent so you can see right through certain things. You understand that type of stuff, Ron. I'm sure we all do. Something that makes it a little more comfortable for all of us. But at the end of the day, I want to bring up that this race is only 200 miles long. That's a very short race compared to what we're used to running. Last week we had a 400-miler here. 400 miles for the FLCC, 300 miles for the Friday Night Lights. We're going 100 miles less today. It's a very short race. So we're coming down to 35 laps to go. Hoytsma's got it. Velasquez trying to gain anything on him, but I don't see that happening without a caution. And these top guys just seem to be maintaining their positions. Hoytsma's got this in the bag if we have it clean to the green to the end. But then again, it's Arlington. You never know what's going to happen. And if someone needs to come down pit road, that could happen at any point, too, if we need to have some pit stops. I'm not sure if they'll have enough gas, but I'm sure tires will wear out long before they do that.
Yeah, so still plenty of racing left to go, and that small look, it may seem like only 100 miles, but compared to last week, that's literally a third of the race cut away, so it is a huge chunk taken out. This does feel like a sprint race in an odd way, and these drivers are kind of treating it like such. You've seen a level of aggression out of this field that, I'll be honest, Kirk, I don't think we've seen this level of aggression, at least for a whole race, be as high as it has been throughout the night. These racers have been bringing the thunder, which is great from our perspective here on the broadcast booth. The gentleman in race control may be a little bit busy here tonight, but hey, it wouldn't be race control if you weren't just juggling chainsaws. Seeing Bryson Hixenball back down pit lane, though. I'm shocked that Hixenball's actually still in this thing.
Yeah, he's not in this thing, but he's trying to, pick up extra spots where he can. I think he's either done for the day or knows he can't get passed by anybody else once he hit a certain lap marker. We're under 20 minutes away from the end of this race if we stay green, so just know it might seem like a lot, but it's not. These guys are going to be we're losing time, and Hoytsma's driving away too. I mean, look at his dang lap times. Hoytsma's running 31.4s, Velasquez running 31.7s. 0.3 of a second faster lap for our leader over second place. As second place is like sliding the car off the corners. Take a look at the 18 car if we can of Velasquez Jr. Watch this car and how sideways it gets. He's sliding in the center of the corner, sliding on the exit, still sliding, and he's just trying to get all he can get. Right here off this corner in turns 3 and 4 is where I think he's doing it the most, on the exit of this corner right here. He goes up, gets close to that wall, turns down, gets loose right here. Still loose, fights it, keeps it straight. And it's going to be like that for the rest of the run, but I don't think he's not anywhere close to what Hoytsma's speed is right now. Hoytsma's just on a different planet as he looks like to get another Darlington stripe for the 18. However, who is in line? Take a look right behind him. You got the 71 and the 83. They're going to be side by side for third.
And Benefield looking to get that spot and maybe sensing an opportunity to get one more here. That number 18 car, Charles Velasquez Jr., is moving around the racetrack like there is no tomorrow, jiggling around like a thing of nervous pudding. So Velasquez going to feel that pressure from Benefield very, very soon, as Benefield's still going to feel some pressure from the likes of Truel, who just got a movement on a few moments ago, Daniel Wiles, and Bryce Reiner. So this train of cars is going to continue marching along. There's not a lot that you can do to stop a train unless that train decides to apply its brakes, which I don't think they're going to do. Benefield goes down to the inside of Velasquez Jr. He's going to keep that momentum rolling, but that 18 car, as I just said, looks to be really squirrely. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before Benefield jumps into that second position.
I got to tell you about Benefield. This guy, his average finish this season out of the 4 races he started in is 3rd place. He's about to go make a move for second right here. Take a look. He's down to the bottom. He's going to be able to make this pass easy. And Benefield might be able to hang on to second. I don't know if he has what it takes to catch up to Hoytsma. It's just not enough time, I think, to be able to catch him. He need a lot of help to be able to make that happen. But remember, he's finished 3rd the last 3 weeks in a row for Benefield. He's now up to second. This would be his 4th top 5 of the year. That would be out of 5 starts. 5 starts, 4 top 5s if he could hang on to it.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be the points leader too, man.
Yeah, having a good record to start off this season can help you well. And with the falling anvil that came down on Bryson Extenball, I have a good feeling about that number 83 car maybe taking that points lead so very early on in this season. I like having the opportunity to talk about points instead of playoffs. If I had to go through a whole season talking about playoffs once again, I probably would have decided to gargle glass to be a part of my nightly routine.
Ron, are you okay?
I'm not all right. I'm half left. Hoytsma, still your race leader. 2.7 seconds is the margin, which is significant. Do you think that Adam Benefield has the chance to close that up, though?
No, not at all. Not right now. Nope.
Fair enough.
2.7 seconds, not going to do it. Not under green flag conditions, not unless Hoytsma makes a mistake. It would have to be pretty bad. Hoytsma's just got to chill out and ride, and he's going to win this thing again. He's going to win for the 2nd week in a row. If you look at his points this year, his average finish is 3.3. Out of his 3 starts this season, he's finished in the top 5 twice. He's won one of those races, and he looks to be, if he's able to win today, he will be the first 2-time winner this season. So keep that in mind. We might get our first 2-time winner, and it would be 2 in a row. Hoytsma would get last week and this week if he's able to hang on.
That's a good low record to have, ain't it? It becomes the first back-to-back winner thus far this season, and it would usurp his record from last season, where he was only able to grab 1 win throughout 2025. Now, granted, he ended up winning the Cup Championship, so you got to take the yin with the yang there. But Hoytsma been pretty impressive, really, in the FLCC world. You can speak to it more on the Cup side of things here, but certainly in the O'Reilly Series, Kirk, he's been quick.
I don't like talking about his win last year because Hoytsman's win last year was the one race where I thought I was going to win at Bristol in the spring. Take a look at this. Dyson, though, making a move on that 18 car for 3rd. He's for 4th, rather. He gets the job done. That 18 car is going the wrong direction, and he's doing it fast. But, yeah, like I said, Hoytsma, he won that race. I got 2nd. If it wasn't for a little pit road mistake, and I'd be pretty dang happy. Who knows? But nope, I'm just going to be here and resent it forever.
See, I'm going to play point counterpoint. It was a race at Talladega that he won. Bristol, he came across the line in 1st, but got a penalty after the race, which gave the win to Bryson Extenball, which I believe, I'll have to double check, I believe that was his 4th during that season. Yeah, he won at Talladega a few weeks later. I remember that because I think that was the first time that we broadcasted the series here on Maconi Entertainment. It was a one-off at that point, and then we decided to cover the rest of the series, and, fast forward about 10 months, here we are.
I thought it was him that won that race. Now I feel bad now. Okay. I could have swore. I have to go back and look again, man. I think.
Hey, Adam Benefield will be happy about the fact that you resent Bryson Ixbal.
Well, I didn't say I resent anybody. I said I resented the move I made. I didn't say I resented the person.
Yeah, touche. That's my bad hearing. That's put on full display.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and clarify. That's the truth. It's about I on a restart came up across the line and made a move. It was bad, but take a look here again. Top 10. Another driver stands out. New driver. Wesley Napier sitting 10th right now. Trying to hang on to it over Jeremy B. Brown. This little battle here. In the 95, you see him. He's on his own right now. Sitting in 10th. Sitting pretty. And I think that 95, I think his year is going to be pretty dang good if it continues. Last week he did really well. This week, 95, hitting the wall a little bit, but he's doing okay. Top 10 so far. Keep it up. Don't give up. 19 to go. And we got a ways to go to the end, but 31 seconds on average a lap, 32 seconds. You can expect the end of the race probably in the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, these competitors have been flying through the action. Now, sometimes they've been flying through the air, which you don't need to be a physicist to know that that's less than ideal. But with golden skies at the moment, with that sun setting below that South Carolinian horizon, the end of this race is coming up very, very soon. Fun little fact about this racetrack that I occasionally bring up on the air. I nearly ended up moving around here. It's scary to say this, about a half a decade ago. Nearly ended up moving to Florence, South Carolina.
Florence,
right
not a bad spot.
Yeah, right by Darlington, right by the Florence Motor Speedway, which is kind of the spiritual successor to Myrtle Beach when that track was closed because it found itself in a booming real estate market.
Good point. But look at Dyson right here making a move. This is for the third place spot. 41. He's going to make that pass pretty dang easy. Dyson gets into a interview location. And I got to tell you right now, today is a bushwhacker day. Benefield, Dyson, and Hoytsma are all FLCC drivers, big-time FLCC. Everybody else, not so much. Truel does, McWhorter does, a few others do. But these top three, this is exactly the top three you would expect if you were to, at the beginning of the race, make your bets based on what you know in terms of statistics. You'd pick these top three guys. No doubt about it.
And an odd thing, I was going to say that, this is one of those races where maybe if you're just a full-time O'Reilly's driver here in the Friday Night Lights series, maybe it's one where you can afford to just kind of lay back and not do a whole lot of practice, just go through the motions and make sure you don't crash. But unlike last season where we only ran here in the spring, we're going to be running here in the fall a little bit later on in this campaign. So that's going to be also the first race of the chase. So there's a lot riding on this track when these drivers come back later on. But here in the back in time 200, Jeremy B. Brown, I think he had 88 miles an hour hanging down that back straightaway. Started going side by side with Junior Johnson. He's back out there on the racetrack now, running in 10th. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, no wonder in the time, what do they call it? Time travel 200, something like that.
Brought out the flux capacitor.
Yeah, went back in time. That's cool. That's awesome. Top three. Look at this. Battle for second's going to heat up here. Benefield and Dyson. Dyson is going to make... Oh, easy work. 83 is real loose. Something's going on with that 83 car. He's sliding it everywhere. Hang on to it, pal.
Yeah, it's now the 83 car that's looking like a plate of nervous pudding out there on the racetrack. Holding on to P3 for now, but he is having a white knuckle that steering wheel. Keep it going in a straight line and try and defend from Bryce Reiner. He's going to look to try and jump into that spot. I think he has a real good opportunity to rattle the cages of that driver of Benefield right up in front. You can see Benefield trying to cover off that inside line. Reiner going to keep the momentum rolling on the top side. And this is going to be when it starts to get dicey. There's a wall tap. This could be the shot that Reiner takes. He's going to go for it down the inside to 1.
83 ain't going to give it up that easy. He's going to fight it, no doubt about it. He'd like to get third again, I'm sure. He'd like to get another interview so he can say his piece. I can't wait to see how that goes. But no, but the 41, he started 36th today. 36th for Andrew Dyson. Now sitting in second. Out of 39 starters, he went through the whole field, gets to second. But his gap is not closing fast enough to where he can catch Hoytsma. Battle for third, though. Here comes Reiner again, down to the inside. This time, it looks like he might have a good shot at it. 83 still there, still there. Oh, this is going to be real tight for the 83. Wow. He's able to powerhouse the outside line. That's how you do it.
Yeah, ripping it well. Benefield still holding on to P3. This is going to have to be the defense of a lifetime in the final 10 laps of this race to seal the deal, get the podium. Either way, though, for Benefield, he could probably afford to lose out on fourth and fifth to Reiner and Wiles and still potentially leave this race with the championship points lead. So there is definitely something in the balance for Benefield to hold on to P3 and extend that potential gap. But right now, I think Benefield is just looking to hold on to P3 for bragging rights and bragging rights alone.
Well, one thing I do got to mention, Dyson is running 31.8s. Hoytsma is running 32.0s. Not quite enough to mean much, but the closest battle on the field again is these three: Benefield, Reiner, Wiles. These guys are going to be the ones battling it out here for the spot for a podium position. Man, it's just all over the place. Any one of these three can get the podium. 88, I think it's going to be a lot harder for him. He's got to pass 2. Coming down to 8 laps to go this time by. Not a lot of time to make any moves.
Yeah, time is running out. The opportunities are running thin on the ground at the moment for Reiner and Wiles to get a move done. Now I think Wiles has run out of patience. He's going to try and get a move done here soon. But one thing to consider in terms of these racers trying to get moves done, they probably would have felt a heck of a lot more confident doing this earlier on in this run. They can't do it right now. The tires have fallen off. These drivers are, skidding around this racetrack. They're not really attacking it. They're just holding on for dear life right now. So the chance to go for a bonsai overtake, heck of a lot lower than it was before, which is the reason why that 5, who looked to be quick, I think the pace in that car has either completely plateaued or is maybe starting to fall off a bit.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are starting to even out, no doubt. Oh, there goes the 88 spinning off the front bumper of the 5. 5 car came down in the 88. This brings out a caution with 5 laps to go. We're going to have ourselves a green, white, checkered finish, boys.
Oh dear, and let's take a look at it. There was the 5 Smolo wall tap, and the 83 just getting sent off to hell there into the inside. Safer barrier is going to go sliding to a halt right before the stripe. And let's take a look at another replay of this. That's another case of the Darlington bounce, and there you can see a little bit of janky iRacing physics kind of playing a role in that, but regardless, doesn't matter what situation led up to it, Daniel Wiles still with that bump on top of his head from that falling anvil coming crashing down right on top of him.
God, I hate it when that happens. I hate it when that happens so much. 88 was going for a great finish today. He was a rookie, running really decent today, and ultimately gets taken out from another's mistake. It's unfortunate. Of course, that changes everything up front. I think right now the pit decision is going to be a big deal. You should go down pit road if you're the leader. You do not stay out. No, no, no. However, if you are in 20th and you want to have a chance at winning, stay out, bro. That's going to be your best bet. It's your only shot you really got. Who's going to be willing to play and roll the dice? I'm not seeing anybody do. Oh, wrecking on entry. The 95 of Wesley Napier is facing the wrong direction.
And it looks like he's finally got turned back around. But what in the world happened there? We're going to take a look at a replay as the field trundled their way in the pits. Yeah, it looks like he was just running all by his lonesome. Rear lock, careful on the back up the 42. May have had to scramble there. Wonder if there's some sort of unsafe pit entry penalty for him there. That did
Strategy
not
right
look
here.
under regulation. As here we go, everybody now hitting their pit stall.
Yep, now we got to find out, is anyone going to take 2 tires? No tires at all, just gas. I mean, what's the story here? What are we going to be doing? I'm guessing 4. Coming out of the pit road, it looks like Hoytsma's got it, no doubt about it. And he is going to be still your leader because I don't think anyone played any strategy there. Unless they all took 2 tires. Let's look at the pit stop. Yeah, they all took 4. Everyone took 4. Nobody was willing to risk it. Folks, that is interesting.
It's Darlington, though. You got to consider it is Darlington. You could go in for 2 tires, but yeah, you'd be better off trying to win this race in a tricycle.
But at least you had a shot to win. Well, I mean, you know, because track position is everything. If you're somebody like Brandon Hunson, Bill Hull, Noah Woods, if I were these guys, I would have gone down and gotten 2 right sides, just gone, and said, good luck, we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, that's fine. You know, at least I tried to win a race, tried some strategy, but nobody tried anything. You know, that's very unusual, man. Obviously, they just want to finish the race, it seems like. They just want to get this done and over with. I feel horrible for the 88, who is now 2 laps down. Odds are he will finish most likely 25th or 26th. So he's going to have a lot of problems there. But up front, it's Hoytsma, Dyson, Benefiel, Reiner, Velasquez, McWhorter, Jeremy B. Brown in 7th. And, of course, as you continue down, Ammon, Foudy, and Napier round out your top 10. Anything could happen in the next 2 laps, folks. Watch this restart because you want to make sure that 97 gets the best jump he wants if he wants to win this race. He has to have the best jump. 41's pretty good at it, so we'll see how the top 2 go. Take an eye on the top 2.
I am terrified.
Oh, don't be. It's going to be good. Here we go. Back underway. Restart 97. Great jump. Everybody else, this is your chance. What are you going to be willing to do? You got to catch him. You got 2 laps to go.
Oh,
5's in a wall. He's
5.
gone.
Oh, that's
gone.
going to stack him up behind. Be careful here. This is real risky. The 73 nearly turns him.
Oh, they're
they're
wrecking off the back. Yep, absolutely. Big crash. They might throw a caution here. It is a caution. Yep, we're going to have another restart. Multiple cars spinning on the entry to turn number 3. Look out, 95 Wesley Napier, the 22. Also around Jacob Simpson, but more cars wrecked on the entry to turn 3.
Yeah, I think that all started with the stacking up farther up the road. It just snowballed out of control from there. Let's see. That was a 95 already up against the fence. So the handling going away on that race car. There's a 17. Got tight midway through the turn. I'm not sure if that was him getting tight or just getting loose, but either way, in the ensuing scramble, 4 cars merging into one single point out there on the racetrack and everybody else scrambling. And the 2 find each other once again. The 95 and the 22 nearly hit 3 times there in the span of about 15 seconds.
The lights just turned on, so now we're technically going to get this race under the lights. Slightly, but still enough. The graphics just switched over. Oh, man, what a change. I mean, we thought we were going to see one thing happen, but now it's going to be another. Drivers, you still don't know who it's going to be. I mean, we might still see some chaotic wrecking. You don't know, but Hoytsma got a great jump last time. We saw how fast he was to get to the gas. He had a great jump. But if you're Dyson, what I'm thinking, you got to be able to just guess when he was going to hit the gas. And hopefully you're right. You got to guess. You don't have a shot unless you get a good jump. That's how that looks for the lead here. And if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. You know, you move on. Take the penalty. You'll still finish on the lead lap, which is better than most of the field right now. So, man, Ron, what do you think?
You know how I said right before we got that first restart rolling that I was a little bit terrified? I'm slightly less terrified this time around. We shall see. I still think Lucas Hoytsma is a driver to keep our eyes out for. Certainly the deserved winner. He's been able to put together a fantastic drive in that number 97 machine. But he's got some tough competition around him. You look at the likes of Dyson. You look at Benefield. Charles Velasquez Jr. has had a pretty wild ride thus far here tonight. Bryce Reiner in P5 in that number 5 car. Another driver to keep tabs on here. If they can come around to the white, I think it's Hoytsma's for the taking. If not, it's gonna be a tough road because you'll reach the point sooner rather than later where those tires have gone from handling poor before we had that yellow with 5 laps left to go in regulation to the first green-white checkered attempt where the drivers where the tires are feeling even worse. Now on green-white checkered numero 2. The tires are basically going to be worn down to the canvas. So if there's any position I would want to be in, it's here in the broadcast booth because I don't have to deal with a car with the illest of handling.
We're going to find out how it goes. Coming out of turn number 2, we're going to get another green-white checker. We got unlimited attempts. You can do this as many times as it takes. We got plenty of cars out there. I'm sure we can go a few more if they want. Or we can just take this and call it good. We'll see how they do. Down the back, into turns 3 and 4. Your top 10 again. Hoytsma, Dyson, Velasquez Jr., Benefield, McCorder, Reiner, Barrett, Jeremy B. Brown, Seth Foudy, Noah Woods, Mason Lowry, and Bill Hull in the 76. Heck yeah, let's see if he can get a top 10. Running 11th right now. Pace cars on pit road. This is the moment. Does he get a good jump? Does the 41 time it? Let's see how it looks. Nope, not quite good enough for the 41. I think that might do it. Outside line got the momentum that time by. Into turns 1 and 2. 41 at Dyson. Putting that 18 up out of the group. And cautions back out as they are wrecking in the back of the field. Multiple cars around.
Ryan Von Henschel picking up a DQ. Wesley Napier picking up a DQ there as well. So Dairy Queen seems to be the popular choice for these racers for dessert this evening. Let's take a look at big stack up farther in the back of the field. Drivers not getting rolling, not getting going. And as they scattered in the run-up into turn number 1 and 2, that's when disaster broke out. There was a 2 just arriving at the scene of the accident. I think there's a little bit netcode contact there, and he's gone.
Yeah, the 35 car, Michael Mesnard, just went into the corner a little too hard and came up in the outside line, and multiple cars were involved in an accident just like that. That changes the whole lineup here for the top group here again. But this ain't over. A lot of things changing. And now the new second place driver is Charles Velasquez Jr., putting Dyson in 3rd and McCorder in 4th and Benefield back to 5th. And it's also going to be changing the entirety of the lineup. But when they cross the stripe here, we'll know for sure where everybody's running. But yeah, when you get those cautions, makes this thing last a little longer. We're going to be sticking around. Hoytsman's on the edge of his seat. Obviously, he's going to be focusing. We don't want to bring him up here into the booth. Talk to him right now. He's going to be focused. Don't want to bother him. But a driver who is running just outside of the top 10, I'm thinking about right now. Let's see if we can't bring him in here. Hang on. Where is he at? See if we can't hear from him. If he's in here, I hope. Nope, he is not in the Discord, unfortunately, so can't bring him in here. I was thinking about getting Bill Hull up here. See how he was doing. But, nope, can't quite see him in the chat. That's sad. Bill, if you're watching after the race, get in a chats so we can bring you up here. See what you're thinking about. Man, Ron, coming to the end of these things, you see this top 5. All of these guys are really dang good drivers. Who are you thinking about?
Well, outside of Hoytsma, who I still think is the one to keep our eyes out for, I don't know. I feel like Charles Velasquez Jr. is choosing to peak at the right time. The handling on that car has been fluctuating throughout these stints, but he seemed to peak at the right time. With the tires being old, he's always seemed to be able to pull out that pace at the right time. So I'm going to keep my eye on that number 18 car. He's going to be on the inside when we get this race restarted in a lapse time. So outside of Hoytma, who I still think is the favorite, I will keep my eyes on that number 18 car. A special shout to a driver that I don't think has a shot to win, unless some sort of major craziness breaks out, but a driver who's holding on to a good spot right now, Michael Deach in 14th. I don't think I've said his name at all throughout this broadcast, but the driver of the number 91 car currently holding on to 14th at the moment.
Yeah, he got some stage points in the first stage there at the end during that chaos, but now he has a chance at a top 10 if he's able to get lucky. We'll see what happens through turns 3 and 4. Remember this, it's all about this restart. If that 97 gets another good jump, he could almost guarantee he's going to try and run away. But 18 car, it's got to time it. He's got to time the right time to get on the gas. That's going to be how it will work. The 97 and the 18. Who will get the jump? Down into the restart zone right here. 97 gets a great jump. 18, not a bad restart. Not a bad one for the situation he was stuck in there. McWhorter on the top. And he is clear. Yep, 18's clear. Yeah, definitely was close, but he made it. Coming out of the turn number 2, down the back. 97, still just fine. I think I saw the Jeremy B. Brown have to go up, down, and out of the line. Coming through the final couple of corners, coming to get the white flag. Hoytsma's got it. No one is in his mirror. 1 lap to go here for the Friday Night Light Series.
And Hoytsma looking to cap off the drive. Nobody rattling his cage right now, even with a sideways kick out and wiggle all through turn number 1 and 2. 3.5 tenths of a second in some margin with himself and Velasquez as he heads his way into 3 and 4 for the final time.
Lucas Hoytsma through turns 3 and 4, like you said, for the final time, is going to take that Exide Batteries Toyota Supra to victory lane for 2 weeks in a row. Lucas Hoytsma gets the job done in the Friday Night Light Series here on Maconi Entertainment.
Yeah, what a way to do it. He was dominant throughout this race. Back-to-back wins here in this season. Hoytsma, always a standout star in the FLCC world, proving that here at the start of the 2026 campaign. Victory 2 rounds in a row. He gets a job done, the Lady in Black.
Everybody giving him a little bit of congrats right there. McWhorter gives him a little shot on the side of the door. And he's going to come to the front straight away. He's going to do some burnouts. But let's take a look at our finishing order while we watch the 97 go on the front stretch and burn that car down. Go ahead and burn it out, pal. Burn it out. Lucas Hoytsma gets the win. Velasquez will come close there to second place. McWhorter will take third. Dyson fourth. Bryce Reiner in fifth. Sixth place, Adam Benefield. Seventh, Seth Foudy. Mason Lowry. Hunter Truel and Noah Woods rounded out your top 10 finishers.
Yeah, and then looking from there, we got Jeremy B. Brown in 11th, Michael Deach in 12th, Bill Hull in 13th, Tanner Marty in P14, Jacob Simpson will come across the stripe in 15th place in front of Kyle Amon in 16th, Charles Ian will be in P17, Matthew Boston Wheeler in 18th, Tim Phillips will be in 19th place, Brian Workman completes your top 20, and then from there you can see the likes of Michael Mesnard in 21st, William Owens in 22nd, Ryan Von Henschel in 23rd, Wesley Napier in 24th place, Garrett Grodzinski in 25th. Steve Benjamin is in P26. Brendan Hunsinger 10 laps down at the end of this race in 27th place. Eric Wineland in 28th. Bryson Nixon-Ball in 29th. Daniel Wiles rounds at your top 30. Just a few more drivers left to go through here. Kevin Zosiak, Daniel Llewellyn, Casey Graves, Cliff Mullins, Jesse Winslow, Blake Kluwat, Tyler W. Hunter, Jonathan Delaney, and Hunter Bogdan. A lot of those racers towards the tail end of the field having major issues throughout this race. Kirk, it was one that challenges the best, and certainly here tonight after 155 laps, an extra few held after regulatory distance. It was certainly a race to remember for some and forget for others.
Well, one of those that are going to be able to remember this thing. Let's see if we can't talk to him. Lucas Hoytsma, we got you up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man, 2 weeks in a row, man. You won Phoenix, came out here, won Darlington. How's it feel, pal?
Oh, it feels awesome. This is my favorite racetrack by far. I absolutely love Darlington, and to go back to back here, man, that's so cool. Last week I kind of backed into it. This one I feel like I really earned it. So It was just an awesome night. Got this Jeff Burton throwback out here, and I've been told the 7 in the 97 doesn't look great, but I did it myself, so that's worth something, right? And yeah, it's just this track is so cool, and we just lucked out with track position really all night, and was able to hold on. Luckily, there through those last yellows, those came as a nice surprise.
Yeah, it made it a little more interesting there at the end, but that restart, it's so hard for anybody in second or on back to ever compete with those restarts, no doubt about it. Got to ask you, Lucas, you got yourself the win 2 weeks in a row. At the beginning of the year, did you plan on going out here and trying to compete for a championship in the Friday Night Lights Series and FLCC, or is this more just for fun for you?
Well, going into the season, I told myself don't get sucked into running full time, but after winning back to back, I might have to. I don't know, do a little bushwhacking here on Fridays.
All right, Lucas, man, no doubt about it. You're going to teach some of these young guns what they're up against, no doubt about it. All right, anybody want to shout out anything before we let you go back?
Yeah, just a big shout out to my family for watching. Everybody who puts this thing on. Everybody at Low Drag, RHM, Black Flag Motorsports, doing a great job. I hope we got a good piece for tomorrow in the Cup race, but we'll see. But yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. Hey, we wish you the best of luck tomorrow in the FLCC race here at Darlington, and congrats on the win here tonight.
Thank you very much.
You got it, pal. That was our winner. Now second place, Charles Velasquez, I believe, is the one who we're going to bring in here to talk with Ron. Charles, you're now with Ron. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Charles, welcome into the broadcast booth. P2 for you at the end of this race. Didn't seem like anyone could really touch Lucas Hoytsma for the victory, but you got closer out of anybody. P2 at the end of this race. How was it out there?
It was hot and loose, which is not what I expected tonight. But yeah, Lucas, he had everybody covered. It was really not. I think maybe only Adam could have done something with him if he would have got there at that long run. But yeah, Lucas had us covered.
Yeah, but still good race for you. P2 when it's all said and done. I want to ask you about this racetrack here at Darlington. I said right towards the top end of the show that this is one of those tracks where you either absolutely love it or despise it with a burning passion. Can I ask, what camp do you belong in?
Oh, I love this track. This is one of my top 2 favorite tracks. It's such a challenge, and it's just it really tests your patience more than I think any other track on the circuit. So, yeah, I'm in camp. I love Darlington.
And I gotta say, I'm with you. I love the history of this place. I love the racing it gives. There's really nothing like Darlington on the schedule. It's historic. And we're also going to be heading to another historic track next week when the series rocks up to the first true test of a driver's patience, Martinsville, in 1 week's time. What are your thoughts heading there?
Well, I'm the complete opposite of Martinsville. I don't really like it. So if I'm there next week, my goal will be just to survive and make all 250 or however many laps that race is.
Yeah, don't catch food poisoning from the hot dogs there in the infield, Charles. I think that's probably the other name of the game throughout the night. But before we let you go and get some practice in for that Martinsville race next week, we'll let you give any thank yous or shout outs.
Yeah, give thanks to Bobby and Dyson and everybody for putting the league on again this year. We got a lot more competition, I think, than we had last year, and it's just it's really nice to race some fast guys week in and week out. I talked to Joseph in the infield care center, and I want to apologize for him to him for that incident on that restart with me, him, and the 71. I don't know how to describe it really, other than just hard racing a little too soon, I think. But yeah, and you guys obviously doing the broadcast. It was a lot of fun watching the races back last year, watching some of them back this year. You and Kirk are doing a pretty good job so far, and I enjoy listening to y'all. And I like the highlight videos that Kirk puts out too. He does a good job with that.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kirk does an awesome job with those highlight reels. But, Charles, thank you for the kind words, and thank you for joining us in the booth, man. Congratulations on the P2, and we'll see you next time at Martinsville.
Okay, guys, thank you.
And that right there was Charles Velasquez Jr., P2 at the Taco Bell ding to ring that interview at. Kirk, I'll pass the mic back off to you.
Joseph McHorder, man, 73 car. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I got to ask you, man, you had yourself quite the day. Came back to get a podium there at the end with all those restarts. How did your day go? How did it feel? And just tell me about it.
Well, my day started at 2 a.m. this morning in West Virginia, and I made it all the way back to Missouri with 5 minutes to spare before practice opened. I'm very tired. I'm so tired, dude. Oh man, it's been such a long day. But yeah, I messed up qualifying, put myself behind the 8 ball right off the start, and yeah, we battled through the field and got back up into the top 5 there, and with the way the strategy played out, we ended up getting that stage 1 win, and wasn't really sure on whether or not to pit or not. I think I guess hindsight being 2020, I probably should have went ahead and put tires on and got that track position and kept that lead. But we finally did get track position. My car hadn't fired off loose like that all day, and then the one time it does is right then, and I get a love tap from behind and fell back to I think 14th or something like that, and
Yep.
drove back inside the top 10, and then just executed on the restarts and was lucky and unlucky at the same time. One restart, I was unlucky. The guy got in the wall in front of me, and then the next restart, I was good. So, yeah, it feels good to get another podium on the season. Man, Johnny and the guys are just bringing out some really fast race cars, and I think we've got the speed. And man, if I can just get my qualifying under me, I could. I think we've got the speed this season to go out there and get some more wins.
No doubt about it. I actually 100% agree with you, pal. It's always fun watching you out there. And I mean, you're champion of the sport. You're going to be able to go out there and win, I think, any given week. But we wish you the best of luck to you going forward. You know, we got Martinsville next week. If you hate anybody, that's where you go to take care of it. Anyway, I just want to see anybody you want to shout out before we let you go.
Yeah, first off, I hope that save out of 2 looked as cool on TV as it did in the
Sure
car.
did. It sure freaking did. We looked at it.
Dude,
Watch the watch back. It'll be there.
I bet you guys can see the damn door number coming down the backstretch. I mean, I don't know how I saved it, but yeah, I got to thank Outlier Speed Code, Johnny and the boys. Man, they've been building some really good cars, and everybody over there has been doing a fantastic job. So if you guys really need some fast setups and you guys want to go battle with the big dogs for a little bit cheaper of a price, go check out outlierspeedcode.com. Red Camel Racing, go check out redcamelracing.com. Fire suit shoes, helmets, you name it, they got it. Looking forward to repping their equipment here in the next coming weeks at 11 and I-44 Speedway in the Crown Vic Series. So really excited to do that. So go check them out at redcamelracing.com. You guys for putting on the broadcast. You guys have been doing a great job. It's good having you in the booth, Kirk. Sucks not having you on the racetrack, but you've been a good addition to the booth. All the drivers for an excellent race tonight, admins for the hard work, and yeah, ready to get into Martinsville. And I mean, we had a really good car there last year. I think we can better our position this time.
For sure, man. I can't wait to see how you do. And plus, it's my first one that I'm actually able to see Darlington. Can't wait for it. And I got to tell you one last thing before you go. That save will be in the highlight video, no doubt about it. Hey. However, I'm sorry we had a big one, so you know that's going to be the thumbnail. I can't leave that thing out.
No, that's fine. No, I mean I think I got plenty of screen time in the highlights last week, missing 2 big wrecks. So
it was awesome. Good saves.
Man, yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah, I hope I think we put on a show, but man, the dirty air. Man, it's frustrating. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how it looked on TV, but it's really hard.
Yeah, it's not a fun thing to do, but you're absolutely right, Joseph. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and send you back to the motor coach so you can yell at folks you're mad at. Wish you the best of luck. All right, pal.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You do the same. Well, that's it, folks. Howie, Ron, go ahead. Tell me, Ron, what's your feelings here?
Well, I still love Darlington. I'm not sure if that sentiment is held by some of these drivers, though. It was a race of chaos at other points. Sometimes, though, it was just a race testing these drivers' patience and skill. But hey, that's part of the reason why I adore this track. But Martinsville next time out, if the drivers are a little bit irked and frustrated with each other leaving Darlington, we're going to have a bare-knuckle fist fight come time for the post-race show next week.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right, Ron. We'll see how it goes. Friday Night Lights Series, FLCC, here live on Maconi Entertainment. You just saw it. Darlington, I'm Kirk Mills alongside Ron Muntz. And, of course, Howie Burrows up there in the booth with us as well, doing our producer and stuff. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. Be sure to watch the highlight reels, which will be coming out either sometime from now to Wednesday. and it will be coming out every single week. We'll be here next week, Friday, for Martinsville.